What's up, you guys? It's the Royal One, and this is a new channel specifically dedicated to MTG Arena. I've been playing this game for a while. Let me check my profile real quick. Let me look. I've been playing basically since Saving, I want to say. I don't think it was Cloud9. Could have been, but I think it's Saving. So basically since 2021. And it's currently 2026. And I'm basically obsessed with this game. I've been playing it so much and pretty consistently. So I decided to make this channel for that reason. And also, if we take a look at my deck, yeah, we're maxed out. You see this? 100 out of 100. So one of the things I love doing in this game, as you can probably guess, is making decks. But since I maxed out my decks, I constantly have to delete older decks that I've made like a while ago that still are pretty good. But obviously new sets come out and I want to make more. So I'm basically going to use this channel as an archive. So I do plan on doing like videos or decks for the newer sets and the older sets. So currently we're in the Avatar season, but as you can see, the season is actually almost over. Like 14 days left, so about 2 weeks. I'm definitely gonna do a video when the newer. I think the next one is Lorwyn something. Yeah, the next one is Lorwyn Eclipse. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to do a video on that Mastery set and everything when it comes out. Also, for today, I'm gonna play a game with one of my, because I do like to play Historic a lot. And I play Standard based on how well I like the set. I do like the Avatar set, so I do play Standard sometimes. So we're going to do a Historic game with one of my older decks, and we're going to do a Standard game. Alright guys, so this is one of my older Historic sets. This one is basically centered around Beloved Princess. So I like this card a lot because she has lifelink, and she cannot be blocked by anything that's stronger than a power 3 or greater. Now, at first glance, you might look at this card and be like, oh, this card sucks. It's just a 1/1 that can't be blocked by stronger creatures. But one of the things I discovered like when I first started playing this game is you can literally just buff this. And even though like it just looks like a, you know, regular common, if you just get a whole bunch of stuff to buff Princess, like put a whole bunch of +1/+1 counters like Sparring Regiment and Filadeer Retreat and Cleric Class, you can literally, she can turn into like a 5/5, 10/10, or whatever, and she can actually win the game because she can't be blocked by bigger creatures. And also, like with my knowledge now, I probably could have did something to give her trample, a card that gives her trample, and that would just be basically game winning. So that, and then along with Speaker of Heavens, get some early game lifelink. Possibly create some angels. So this is Angelic Princess, so it does have some angels incorporated. We have obviously a lot of buff cards to get +1/+1 counters. This one is great because it can also destroy enchantments if needed. And this also is a learn deck, so we do have some stuff in our sideboard. But honestly, I could tweak this now since we have the Avatar set that has some lesson cards. I could actually tweak this and make it a little bit better, but I'm gonna stay true. I'm not gonna change anything. This is exactly how I made it like 4 years ago or however long ago it was. So yeah, protection card, just give me hexproof in case someone tries to destroy the princess, obviously. Giada, she'll buff the angels that come in, because this is also an angel deck. This also buffs creatures that comes in. We already went over this. Creature buffs. This, though, specifically will also create angels with lifelink. So if I gain 3 life, I can get a free angel. Then we have this. This is basically to gain life early and draw, but also, if I'm able to get it, I can get another angel. So then we have Basri. Basri was another card that I liked a lot when I first played, and he has some cool stuff. Let's see, 1+1. Yeah, so basically, if anything has a 1+1, it creates knights as well. So that's perfect. And then this creature has lifelink if it's +1/+1. So it's lifelink +1/+1 center deck basically. Here, this card gets +1/+1. It has lifelink +1/+1, as you can see. And then Sarah Paragon is also a really great card because she allows you to play anything with mana value 3 or less. So even if I don't draw Surge of Salvation, if I don't draw Surge of Salvation and Beloved Princess dies, I can just cast her again. So this is a good way to cheat her back in. And she's only 1 mana, so as long as I have 5 mana, I can drop her and instantly play Beloved Princess again. And these are my big drop angels. This ain't, well, this is not an angel, but she gives +1/+1 counters. Then lifelink, make an angel. You get the point of this. Basri also makes whatever creature indestructible, and then Elspeth, she can add whatever counter I like. So vigilance, probably more than likely. First strike to make these creatures even better. Alright, so let's jump into a match. I know that was a lot of ranting. Alright, this is like not the best like, what the heck? I actually never seen it. That's the one thing I like about Magic. I'm always finding new cards. You guys are pushing me. Only thing about this is it kind of sucks is that it can't put it on itself. I'm not gonna lie, I actually should have swapped
Address me as Queen of the Dead, please. I have no interest in fighting fair.
You don't have any. I have enough mana to get my angel out if I can draw it. back over.
I really don't care about your plans.
Yeah, I can literally just bring it back next turn. It's not even gonna be
For the list.
I'm destroying this one. There is absolutely
The best thing about zombies is their adoring allegiance.
Oh my. Oh, that's it?
Don't you
Why
just
did
love
you do
the
that?
smell of death?
Deck still hold up. Still alive.
That was a waste.
As long as he doesn't have a board wipe or something. Wait, but I wonder, do board wipes affect battles? Alright y'all, so this is my standard deck. This is honestly the best one that I've made this season. This one is focused on Katara, Katara the Fearless. If a triggered ability of an ally you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. Goodness gracious, we're solid. But basically it's an ally deck, but with the focus of trying to get everything to trigger twice. Unfortunately, I only have one copy of this card, and I have 0 rare mythics, so I can't make another one. So this deck is actually kind of good without Katara, but Katara basically just makes this deck even better. So it's basically an ally deck until I can get more copies. We have Earth Kingdom Protectors. This is just to, protect one of our creatures into the Avatar state, also to protection. For protection, Airbend is Reversal, Destroy or Airbend, which this can be used defensively or offensively. And we also have Airbend, that's to slow our opponents down and draw. Then Compassionate Healer. This lets us sift through the deck. I mean, this is not the best card, but again, I need more copies of Katara. Avatar Enthusiast. Now, this card may seem pretty weak, but actually, since this is an ally deck, this can quickly get up to like an 8/8 or a 6/6. I've gotten it up to their playing standard. Suki, she buffs creatures, and also when your allies die, she creates 1/1 tokens, so more blockers. Suki is a good card. Again, I think I only have one copy of her. She's also rare. Sokka is a very good card. He has Vigilance and he draws when he attacks with somebody else. So even a 1/1 or anything. Sometimes I just use Sokka for the draw and I'll sack him, but he's a 2/4, so he can pretty much survive unless it's like a big creature. Team Avatar, I only have one copy of this. Oh no, I lied. I have 2 copies. Whenever creature you control attacks alone, they get +X/+X. But since it's not really built around that, this is kind of in here for no reason. I should change this. Probably swap it for another Earth Kingdom Protectors, which I could grab, but I'm gonna just leave it as is. Hakoda, 4 mana, 3/5, Vigilance, and I can look at the top of my library and cast allies from the top, which the majority of my deck is allies. So this is like a must-have in an ally deck, especially a white ally deck. But this is white, green, blue. Then Appa, I can basically bounce any of my creatures and cast them again. And also I get a 1/1 on top of that. It's not too many. Most of the value I would get from Appa would be from the earthbending creatures I have over here. But we'll get into that in a second. We have Katara whenever she's tapped. +1/+1. Honestly, this builds up very slow, so it's not the best unless I built a deck around this version of Katara. But this version of Katara is way better. So she's really in here for draw. So if I get enough creatures out, enough allies out, I can draw cards. Render's Water Skin, this is basically just so I can ensure that I always have mana to cast these emergency cards if necessary. Render's Water Skin is actually a really good card, because it's basically unlimited mana. Not unlimited, it's only one, but you for sure have one every turn. I think a lot of people think this is a bad card, but I actually think it's good. Flexible Waterbender, this is a very good card. The flexibility of it makes it perfect. I can go from a 2/5 to a 5/2. So this can actually destroy some bigger creatures, but it can also act as a defender of sorts. That's kind of how I use it. And it has Vigilance, so you can attack with Sokka. That's one of the uses. Great Divide Guide. This is a very good card. If I had more copies, I probably would make this more Earthbender centered with Katara, but only have one copy, so. Haru. This is basically like a weaker version of Toph. Honestly though, I do have the Cub. Real quick. What's the Cub name? Yeah, Badger Mole Cub. I literally have this card and I should swap it out. Because this is quite literally... But the thing is... Maybe I'll tweak it later. I'm going to leave this deck as is. But Haru is not bad though, because whenever another ally you control enters, Earthbend 1. And since it's an ally deck, that can easily stack. And if Katara is out, that's twice. So basically Earthbend 2. Toph. This is pretty solid card. She can Earthbend 2. And also, her power is equal to the amount of lands. Or how strong the lands, how many lands you have and how strong they are combined. So this is a very good card. The only thing that sucks is she only has 3 toughness. So to make her better, you could get something to make her indestructible, or just like, you know, rely on these spells and whatnot to keep her up. But yeah, Toph is solid. And then Earth Kingdom General. Now this actually is one of my favorite cards out of this season. Because it's the only life gain. Avatar does not really have that much life gain. But this lets you Earthbend and you life gain every time you Earthbend. But you can only do it once. Now I know if it didn't have that, this would be kind of a busted card. And it probably would need to be mythic. Or at least rare if it like did it every single time. Because obviously you can stack the Earthbend mechanic. But yeah, I like this card a lot. Even though it's limited. Earth King, now this is easy ramp. It creates a 4/4, and also with Katara it will create 2 4/4s. And whenever you attack with a creature with 4/4 or greater, you search for a land card, a basic land. Now the thing is, this deck, I do have a lot of dual lands, or special lands, but I put at least 9 basic lands in here, so I mean, that's more than enough to do really anything I need to do. So yeah, solid card. And then Aang at the Crossroads. This actually is an amazing card. The only thing is, I need to modify this deck to have more protection, because Aang always gets killed, and I only have 1 copy of him. Obviously, like I said before, I only have 0 rares, so I can't make more copies. But this card is so good. I get to look at the top 5 cards in my library, and I can put a creature card, mana 4 or less, on the battlefield for free. And with Katara, he does it twice. So, also, if Appa happens to be, because this is 4, if Appa happens to be there, I can bounce him and do it again if I have the mana to. So you can essentially sift through your entire deck and just keep putting allies on. Because you can airbend any amount. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. The only thing is, you can't like put out another Appa to bounce an Appa. But, yeah. Alright, that's basically it. Let's hop into a game. Alright, this is a much better hand. I did swap out, I added the first vendor. Wait, so they pump and they can put a 1/1. That's actually really good. I feel like that might have been good. I want to get Earth. Actually, I read 20. the video, like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace!